This guy has done a lot in hockey. Some of it very, very well respected. Some of it controversial. But I'm not here to do anything but talk about Bob's success in his career. I know some people who will be on this podcast will say he wrote, a very, controversial book on what he considered racial bias against Quebec-born hockey players. But we're going to talk today about his career because he came within an inch of winning a Stanley Cup with the Flyers. Never played in their Stanley Cup run of the playoffs, but when he played in Washington, put up some really big numbers, and probably was one of the most consistent stars of the second 5 years of the expansion franchise. So again, we're talking about the great Bob Sirois. Now, Bob, born Montreal, Quebec, 6 feet, 178. Came to major prominence with the QMJHL. Over 4 seasons, he was playing some really consistent hockey with the Rosemont National in 71, the Laval National in 72 and part of 73, then with the Montreal Bleu Blanc Rouge, where he put up 97 points in 58 games, which gave him 105 for that regular season. But the big year, of course, was with the Montreal Juniors. A lot of people thought that Montreal Canadiens were going to take a draft on him. He had 153 points in 67 games, 7 points in the playoffs. He was taken 53rd overall by the Flyers in 74 draft, and 130 overall by the great Houston Aeros in that draft. Now, very, very interesting. He played the 75 season mostly with the Richmond Robins of the AHL. Put up some decent numbers. 49 points in 53 games. Got called up for 3 games with the Flyers. If it was an expanded roster for the playoffs, he probably would have made that championship team that year. Didn't play in the playoffs. Had one more cup of water with the Flyers in 76 before being traded to the Washington Capitals, and that's where his career went on the upswing. Now, over a number of seasons, he was again one of the top point and goal producers for the Capitals in a very lean time. He had 29 points in 76 and 32 points in the minors with Richmond before the trade. 77, he put up 35 points in 45 games. But the breakthrough year, ladies and gentlemen, was 78, where he had 61 points in 72 games, including 24 goals. 79 was, a lot of people believe, his career year as a goal scorer, where he had 29 goals and 25 assists and 54 points. Now, in 1980, last year a major pro, 32 points in 49 games, including 15 goals, and found himself in Europe for a couple of seasons with Lausanne and Lugano, and of course back to the AHL with Hershey in 82 before wrapping up his career. So, finally retired in 82 after, again, a very successful 10-year plus career on the higher echelons of hockey. 212 points in 286 games, 92 goals. But you look at the Quebec Nordiques, you look at the Montreal Canadiens of the late 70s, you always wonder if they should have given Bob a chance to look at a different way. Now, the book that Bob wrote is called Discrimination in the NHL, Quebec Hockey Players Sidelined. Now, according to Amazon, by using statistics covering nearly 40 years, the discussion shatters tenacious myths such as those claiming that Quebecois players are physically smaller, play poor defensive hockey, and only serve as the best goalies. Now, the book proposed a new NHL team for Quebec City and a Quebec national junior team for international events. And I don't find that controversial at all. But when that book came out in 2010, that unless Quebec hockey players are superstars, they are less likely to be drafted than other players in Canada. That's another podcast altogether. But I wanted to pass it on because Bob had made very, very, to English Canada, outrageous statements saying that, maybe Quebec players are being discriminated against. It's hard to tell because here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. There was European and Americans playing in major junior in Quebec for a number of years. You look at players like Sidney Crosby as well, not from Quebec. It maybe is the league that wasn't getting drafted right out of the players. All I know is this, ladies and gentlemen: the majority of the francophone players that were drafted in the lower ranks over the last number of years have made the NHL or high minor pro. But like I said, Quebec doesn't have, or English Canada or Europe or the States have a heavy market on the best players. The best players are the best players. Remember when Montreal Canadiens had brought in a lot of university players in the 70s? When Vancouver and the West Coast teams, Calgary, Edmonton, was bringing a lot of Europeans. You look at the Oilers, the third and fourth line was all Europeans. Was that discriminating against Quebec players? No. But Bob, for me, was a very skilled player. But like I said, that's his opinion, and he's close to it. And, he's a guy, ladies and gentlemen, that was drafted, again, under lower ranks. Did he believe he should have been drafted higher? Truth be told, I really don't know how it goes. Why wasn't Sirois drafted until 53rd overall in his year when he had over 100 points? Hard to tell. Anyway, in 2021, what happened in 1981 is so 40 years ago that maybe a lot of media around that could talk about it either retired or dead. The only person I know that can speak on that, I can go back in the NHL Register, or what do you call it, Sporting News, and you'd have to study it quite a bit. But Bob's a good interview. If you ever have a chance, any member of the media, he's a really cool cat to talk to, from what I saw anyway. Because most of his interviews in French, and let me tell you, he stands by his thoughts, as we say. So that's a Legend of Bob Sirois. Thanks for listening.